Hi, I'm Karen Burson with Hamilton Eat Local. That's a project of Environment Hamilton, and we love local food. And today we're going to be cooking with Janet Kronick from Durndurn Castle in the historic castle kitchen. And you know, one of the things that we love about local food is making it easy, making it family friendly, and this recipe fits the bill. It's also very frugal because it helps you use up leftovers, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Look at all the leftovers you can use. You've got cooked potatoes. If they're already mashed, the whole first part of the recipe is done for you. Got some leftover chicken, and this has some seasonings already in it.
Okay.
Whatever you want. You can use any meat or vegetable that you'd like.
Looks good.
This is an interesting vegetable. I don't know if people know a lot about the Jerusalem artichoke.
It looks a little like ginger.
It looks like ginger. It's a root vegetable, and it's actually a sunchoke. It's from the sunchoke family. And the flavor is actually right under the skin and on the skin. Although I've peeled them slightly and cooked them up, you could eat these raw. And they're very crunchy, and they have a nice nuttiness, a sweetness to them. And this recipe, I'm blending up potatoes and Jerusalem artichokes, but you could do it with squash. You can do it with any vegetables you want. Carrots. I love them too.
I'm kind of fond of celeriac. Not everybody knows that one. It's celery root. It's that big, funny-looking, hairy vegetable. I call it the Quasimodo of the vegetable world because it's not pretty on the outside, but inside.
And it works really well when you blend it with other vegetables too and cook it up. Celeriac's really wonderful. Don't be afraid of those weird-looking vegetables in the grocery store. Stop buying processed food. So why don't you add some herbs? What kind of herbs do we have there?
It looks like we've got a mixture here. I'm seeing thyme, smelling thyme, and sage and some chives, which are lovely with potatoes.
This is great to add. These are called Potato Rissoles. Rissoles.
So that sounds like a French word.
It's a French word. We're using French words in the kitchen too.
Oui, oui.
Isn't cooking fun?
Oui, oui.
We get to do it in French as well. Voila. So here we have chopped up potato. I've chopped up the, they mash as well. You can use any mashed food chopped. You see it works well.
It looks like a very hands-on recipe. I bet you could get the kids involved in this part.
Wouldn't they love to do that? Yeah. We get the kids doing it here at the castle all the time when the school groups come. So this is well mushed. And what we start to do is we make little balls of this stuff. Press them in a bowl and press them up.
And then they go into this dish. This looks like a beaten whole egg.
Just beaten whole egg, whatever liquid you prefer. If you don't have to use egg. You can probably use a milk or even a cider. It would be yummy. Just anything to make these breadcrumbs stick.
And that's a good idea if you're vegan and you're not going to want to use eggs. So it's good to have that option.
That's right. I think that the breadcrumbs would probably stick to these without the egg. And so we'll make a bunch and we'll fry them.
Thanks. And you know what? I think you have another ingredient that we can use.
What do we have? Well, we didn't put the chicken in.
Can we put some chicken in? So we've got some vegetarian ones ready to go.
Okay, we'll keep those on the side and we'll make sure we know. Sometimes they would take a whole chunk of meat and wrap the Rissole potato recipe around a chunk of meat in the center. Sometimes they'd use pastry. And they take the whole thing and wrap this whole thing again in a pastry.
Oh, really?
And then bake them or deep fry them. And well, the rissoles really varied. You can also make a log shape and then slice them into discs, little disc shapes as well. This would be wonderful. We've got hot pan heating up with butter in it.
Is that almost ready?
And Simon's going to help us fry. Get some going. We'll be able to taste them. These are so good. You can have them as a main course. You can make them big like patties and have them accompanied by something else in your meal, like another vegetable.
Let me make one of these too. It seems like a really good way to use local food, especially in wintertime when we do have a lot of the root vegetables. Say January, February comes around, and I could see you using even carrots.
That's right. And squash and pumpkin.
Leeks.
Put in onions. We didn't add any, but we certainly would use onions in here. And the chives are so wonderful. That's an onion as well. Garlic. Although the Victorians, you know, they weren't so big on garlic.
Right.
They thought it was medicinal more than anything
We know better now, but we do know it is very medicinal now.
We know it's amazing. It's amazing flavor. All right, let's put these in the fry pan.
Okay, very good.
Perfect.
Now these are a nice size for, I guess, a side dish, but I bet you could make really tiny ones and serve them as appetizers at a dinner party.
Yep, and you can make them into different shapes. Sometimes they made them into pear shapes, and they put like a clove onto the bottom to make like the bottom of a pear. And
Janet, these look incredible. I'm going to try one now.
Let's try them. This is potatoes and Jerusalem artichokes, herbs, and you might have some chicken.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Janet, for your help. We'll be back again at the Dundurn Castle kitchen, and more on Hamilton life.
Butter.